Okay, you're probably not going to like hearing this, but the hero's journey, that singular human odyssey heralded through story and song as each person's birthright to individual excellence, is, in my view, over. Yeah, I'm saying it's played out, kaput, done, creatively speaking. My name is Dave Zaboski, and I'm a classically trained artist and animator, and everything I do is meant for you to connect ever deeper to your own creativity. Now, I'm not saying that the hero itself is over or that the righteous pursuit of purpose is no longer relevant. It's still relevant. We still need to follow our bliss towards that unique and arduous search for the elixir of life whose value we reckon is beyond measure, because it reveals ourselves to ourselves. And we still must conquer our dangerous dragons to get it. The quest to the center of you is just about the greatest opportunity and challenge any human could possibly face along this mysterious arc of life. Know thyself. That's the great work. But it is not the only work. And it may be true that this perilous path is not for everybody. You don't have to always be a hero, but we still need the hero's journey. We probably always will. I had mine, and it's often how we get where we're going. Listen, if you're in one right now, good for you. Keep on it. You got this. But let me ask you this one critical question. The question our brightest minds, our most stalwart heroes have fucking forgotten to ask. What happens after your hero's journey? When it's over, what's next? I know it's hard to think about such trivial things while you're in the middle of heeding a call or vanquishing a foe. But, and here's the bad news, unless you start to think about what's next, you will always be in the middle of what is. And that is exactly why shit's falling apart these days. Not thinking deeply about what's next is starting to cause irreparable damage to humanity, to the very thing the heroism was designed to solve. That precious elixir, so heroically obtained, when hoarded, turns to poison. Our heroes have staggered drunkenly too deep into the dead-end alley of their own perceived heroism that they no longer know how to plan for anything else. Folks, it's time to think about what's next. It's time to evolve. It's time to ask, what is the new story? The good news is the seeds have been planted in plain sight. That's how evolution works. A flower never says, hey, I'm not getting enough bees. Let's break this whole thing down to the ground and start over. No, it evolves. It learns lessons from its past. Can we do the same? Where do we look for these lessons? Now think about this. If movies move, then what do stories do? Right, stories store. They store information. They capture experiences and store them for our pleasure, entertainment, and education. This art form of story, like all great creations, is a way of expressing the consciousness of a time. Stories adapt and evolve as culture adapts and evolves. The great Joseph Campbell called our collective attention to what he called the monomyth, the hero's journey. But the hero's journey was only meant to be an initiation. Friends, it was just the start. It was never meant to be humanity's last story. Somebody should tell our heroes that. They seem to have forgotten, gotten comfortable with the hero thing, gotten drunk on the elixir at the cost of culture and our kids' future. The hero's journey is played out. We've been slow to realize that we're part of an unimaginably immense universe whose laws are committed wholeheartedly to expansion. Life evolves. It spirals towards the infinite. Everything, everywhere is constantly up-leveling. So if the hero's journey is the last level in the game of life, then what's the point of all of this? Just to be a hero over and over again? Is that it? Rinse and repeat? No. Where do we go from here? Have we unknowingly settled into the cold comfort of clinging to what we know we know? Let me make this clearer. Our heroes have been trained to recycle their hero's journey ad nauseum until their previously valiant efforts end up crafting strategies that solve only for the hero at the cost of the things they were originally meant to serve: humanity, life, love. They pursue the elixir with an addict's fervor, not as a remedy, but as a prize to extract, exploit, and hoard. Why is it that our billionaires, oligarchs, political paragons, and titans of industry are no closer to enlightenment, benevolence, grace, or earth-shattering insight into the sublime beauty of this thing called life than a flea on a tick, often even less so? Many, we are discovering, are actually bent by the weight of their heroism until it distorts the light around them and disconnects them from a healthy relationship with their own humanity. At best, they are obtuse to the travails and tragedies of everyday people. At worst, they succumb to a darkness that warps their soul towards power, abuse, and cruelty. Our titans of industry are stuck in an old story that is breaking the world. Examples are easy to find of our enterprise leaders hoarding the elixir and making you pay for the subscription as they look for bigger and better ways to move fast and break things. Well, that is precisely the kind of hero we no longer need. Fortunately, our collective story is changing in real time. It's happening right before our eyes. And like the evolving flower, the answer to what's next is emerging out of the stories of right now. We are on the verge of this new story. You can feel it because the old stories are breaking. Use your anger, Luke. Use it to clarify what you love. Grow up and stop breaking things. The new story is closer than you think, and you can play an important role in bringing sunlight to it, in bringing about its emergence. So let's recap the journey popularized by Joe Campbell, wherein you, a normal everyday soul, suddenly hear a mysterious calling. You resist leaving the comfort you have carefully cultivated, but are overcome with the need to answer the call. Following your bliss, you journey out and meet some old dude who gives you a seemingly impossible mission. You take it on reluctantly yet impetuously, and you wade deeper into the dangerous waters of life, learning valuable lessons and building needed skills. Now eventually, you must face the ferocious foe, and once vanquished, you gather the magical boon awarded to your triumph. You return quietly victorious back to the garden and hearth that you left, the same yet changed. This is the bus stop where the monomyth lets you off. Hey kids, don't get back on that bus. It was your initiation, not your destination. Once you've settled in, healed a bit, reflected, got just a bit more comfortable than uncomfortable, you have to evolve, expand. You've tasted too much of the world to be who you have been. Now in physics, this is called irreversibility. The arrow of time only moves in one inexorable direction. In other words, you can't unstir the powder out of your drink once it's mixed. Your new story must emerge. The venerated Joseph Campbell, bless his heart, needs an update. We need an update. Philosopher Joanna Macy says the new story is more of a collective mission, where heroes, secure in their internal fortitude, come together to level up human experience for more than just themselves. The new story is what she calls the kindred quest. Now, I quite like that term. What is a kindred quest? How do we engage in one, and what can we expect? Thing is, we haven't really put our finger on it. What are the steps? How do we navigate this new terrain as a group? Is it the same, just with more people? Are there different dynamics we must learn and master? Can we follow our bliss? Can I be both sovereign and inclusive? Ah, sovereign and inclusive. That's the trick. Oh, but Dave, can't I just go back to the hero's journey? Can't I just stay with what I know? Yeah, the thing is, you can't. Bruh, I'm a billionaire. I can do whatever I want. I'm tempted to add another bruh at the end of that. Bruh, I'm a billionaire, bruh. I can do whatever I want, bruh. Yeah, this is precisely how the hero's journey got played out. You can tell this is happening because we've keenly developed a propensity for polarization. If you ain't with me, you're agin me. The dichotomies, us and them, good guys and bad guys, red versus blue, these create identity bubbles that keep us small, stuck in the certainty of our story of righteousness, of our heroism. Meanwhile, they're degrading the things we should be tending heroically. Truly precious elixirs like curiosity, compassion, community, care. The flourishing of these would evolve humanity. Our certainty is our trap. Listen, have you ever made your bed in the morning? Of course you have. That's how you take care of your future self. Well done. That's what's needed now. A new story of us collectively taking care of our future selves. Collectively, not just the hero, and not just for the end of the day when we crawl back into bed, or even the duration of this life when we're laid to rest, or even the life of our kids into their old age. We need a longer view where gallant efforts accrue to a deeper flourishing. Maybe the question is not just, what is the new story? The next question could be, what distant future selves can we dare to care for? Can we tell that story? Could we extend our current time horizon for collective heroism beyond the lifespan of 1 or 2 generations? Maybe we can after we learn to evolve the story that we're in. You know, instead of returning to our own garden for planting, we could cultivate a community garden where heroes of all stripes can both transcend their abilities while including and supporting others doing the same. This creates a renewed enthusiasm for the pursuit of bliss. In the hero's journey, the goal is transcendence. With the kindred quest, The goal is transcendence and inclusion. We are better together. Bringing our heroic capabilities and even honing them while engaging in a new octave of transformation addresses notions of success and purpose and service and collaboration in ways heretofore unimagined. Together, achieving something bigger than any of us could create by our lonely heroism. This, I believe, is what's next for the blossoming intelligences of the earth, a kindred quest. We understand the change from an old story to a new story won't happen immediately. This is an evolution, after all. The hero's journey has been forged by the firelight of human consciousness for millennia. It's only been about 50 years that we've named it and made it conspicuous. Humans shift when we acknowledge what's so. We recognize the pattern. You sit long enough in one position and it becomes uncomfortable. Once you notice the discomfort, you move. It's that simple. We can tell this new story. It's when we pay attention to what choices we've made that we can recognize the next choice that's available. Attention changes things. Now that we've noticed, the hero's journey has to evolve into what's next. It can't help itself. This is just how the universe works. And that is a very good thing, because the pursuit of the hero's journey without somewhere to go next is breaking the fuck out of things. It's causing damage to just about every system on Earth designed for flourishing. Our politics worldwide are rotten with putrefying heroes operating like only they can vanquish the beast they knowingly created and unknowingly became. They are incapable of going normally about by day, a dragon sitting in the shadows atop a dark hoard of baubles, dreaming of ways to mine your data for more useless gold. So, here's a simple way for you to save humanity from this beast. Join a kindred quest. Get back into the bliss game, this time with others. Not sure how to do that? Well, there's a structure you can expect, and it's just like the hero's journey. There are guidelines and mileposts and people to look for and skills to build. It all starts, again, with a kind of calling, a pull in your gut to do the great work of the world, to know thyself and know this world, to tell a new story. You commit to walking your talk, knowing clearly how to craft, share, and activate your values, and act according to your principles so that you live in service and authenticity. Connect to the thy and thou, that sacred place at the center of you, and then learn to share that with others. In short, there's a whole geography of the kindred quest that you, when you have clarity about it, can venture into. Want to know exactly how to join your own kindred quest? Stay tuned. Next time we'll delve deeply into the elements of deep collaboration and the kindred quest, and how you can follow your bliss right into one for the benefit of yourself, your community, and your world. And here's the best news. It's going to take work. And it will probably be harder, more challenging, and more joyful than anything you've ever done before. This is your life. Somewhere deep in your heart, this is exactly what you asked for. So please click the thing and do the thing so you can stay with me. I have got so much more good stuff for you, creatively speaking.